Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nothing to See Here podcast. Hi, it's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
Hey, Frankie.
Yeah,
What did we do today?
we saw another concert film.
We did. We did. And,
And what?
well, first we should talk about the thing that happened before the film, and then we'll get into the film.
What happened before? Well, we should talk about the film first because
No, 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 no.
we're gonna have more to say about the other thing because
I don't
Hannah's
know
gonna
about
be included in that conversation.
That's fair.
Hopefully,
Fine. Okay, Frankie, what were your thoughts?
my thoughts on the film. Okay,
What film did we see? Did you guys see?
We went to see 17 Follow Again to cinemas.
yeah, it's a concert movie. My second concert movie ever because like I've said, I don't like concert movies particularly,
To be
but
fair, we never talked about, because we didn't record that Sunday afterwards.
we
We
saw
didn't,
the Suga concert movie as well.
yeah, we
But I
did.
can't give an in-depth thoughts about that one because it's not fresh.
I know. But you can
But
give one about this.
yeah, so look, it was good. The As I said in the car ride home, or the car ride to my car.
The car ride to my car.
The music, I like 17's music better than I like Suga's music. It's just a personal taste. But Suga's concert movie as a movie was better than 17's.
Why do you say that?
Because if I'm going to obviously like 17, by the way they put it out, they don't tour that often.
No,
The way they
not as,
talked about it
not
at
as
the
often
like
as I would. Yeah,
they
as I
talked
would
about
like.
that at the end of the concert where they don't tour that much. So obviously it's like if you get to see them live, that's a rare thing. But
Eh,
I don't want a concert movie to be just like if I was at the concert. Now I will say this for 17's benefit, they had better camera shots than the Suga concert movie did. Some really creative camera work. Whoever the director was for cinematography, great job. Hats off to you. But Suga's had a lot of stuff where it was Suga talking backstage or before the concert or even after the concert about like how he felt about music and what it felt to be like putting this concert on and doing the movie of the concert and details that you wouldn't get going to the concert. The 17 one had like one fun thing where they talked to some of the fans before, like in the middle of the movie, and like before they went into the concert, they talked to them about what 17 means to them, and that was really nice. And they showed one little bit of 17 rehearsing for the show, but that was it. Like they had some cool intros when the different units did their individual stuff, but it was just like highlights of what you were going to see. So they didn't really do anything that you wouldn't have seen if you had gone to the concert like Sugas did, which I really appreciate because it's a movie. You can do more. I want that kind of stuff.
all
So
right,
that's why I think it was a weaker movie.
gotcha. So my question: you say you can identify a couple people.
I can identify two people consistently every time. One of them is Vernon. He lived in America for a while though, right?
Until he was 5.
Yeah, so but he has more of like a little bit of an American look to him. He has a distinctive face that I can recognize.
So did Joshua.
Joshua's face isn't as distinctive. Um, it's just not. Um, I can. I'll say the other one in a minute. I can occasionally recognize DK
And
and V8 or V8
yes,
because V8 looks like an actress from the K drama that we've been watching. It's
he's really.
amazing.
It's very uncanny how accurate. Like they look like they could be siblings.
The other one that I get every single oh no, I can also get Woozy every time because he's very short. And even in pictures where you can't see his height, he just looks short.
Aw.
As a short person myself, you just give off an aura in pictures.
You just give off a short vibe.
Yeah. The third member that I can identify every single time because he gives off lame energy. Just the energy of being the lamest person on the planet is
Oh
S
God,
Coops.
don't don't do that to him.
I will do that to him. Be he is trying to be cool and it doesn't work. He's just I found one of my problems with him today. I've added another problem that I have with him today.
Oh God, what's the
Just
problem?
drive him.
Which adds evidence to him trying to be cool. When I've gone over to your house and it's been your night or Peanut Gallery's night,
Yep.
you've made me watch, and I say make me, but I've enjoyed most of them. The 17 videos
Going
where they play
17.
games, Going
Yeah.
17 series, yes, they're very fun, and they all talk a lot in those videos. I've heard S.
Mhm.
Coops talk. I know what his voice sounds like. And when he raps in some of the songs, not every song, but in some of the songs today, he adds this like deep rasp to his voice, trying to sound tougher and cooler, and it just makes him lamer.
People are gonna come for you.
Go ahead and come for me. It just makes him sound lame.
I think it sounds fine.
It makes him sound so lame.
I'd like to see you try and rap.
I can't rap. He also messed up on a couple of the raps, but
No, he didn't.
he did. He stumbled his words in one of the songs. I don't remember which one it was, but I caught it.
He says.
Because
Sure.
the backing track, because obviously it's a large venue, they're gonna have a backing track behind them. The backing track had different words than he was saying.
Anyway,
Yeah. So the other thing, you asked me this during the
I
movie,
did.
and I wanted to wait for till now. So there's one member that I think is cool, just effortlessly cool.
I asked you if you to point him out, and you said no.
I said no because I couldn't point him out after they had changed costumes. They had gone through a few wardrobe changes.
Oh God, this is gonna be hard for me to remember.
I think you'll remember.
Okay.
Because it's one of two. Because I know the other two members of the unit.
Okay.
It's from the hip hop unit,
Okay.
not Vernon, because I know Vernon.
And it's not S. Coops.
Definitely not S. Coops, who's lame. The guy who, and then there was another one who had a bandana on or like his jacket zipped all the way up. Not him. The other one, the one who had the jacket and the gold chain.
Give me a second.
They were all wearing like Adidas tracksuits in this part of the movie, Hannah.
That sounds like a cult.
Yeah.
Different variations of it, though.
How much did Adidas pay them?
He was also, I can give a more physical description. He was the
Please.
tallest of the four of them.
Mingyu.
Mingyu? Oh my god. Mingyu? Super cool. When he's performing, at least. Mingyu has this, oh my god. You guys won't get this reference, and maybe some listeners will. I don't know. But when they were doing the hip hop units like solo thing, where it was just those four.
La li la. Yeah.
Mingyu, to me, had the same essence of 1998 to 2000 rock in wrestling, when he just came out and you're like, this is the coolest dude in the room, and he's not even trying.
Frankie, do me a favor, just to verify that this is the same person we're talking about.
You texting me an image?
No, I'm asking you to look up an image. Go on to Google.
Go on to Google. I don't know how Google works. All right, I'm on Google.
Type in Mingyu, M-I-N.
I know how to spell that. Mingyu. I know how to spell Mingyu.
Adidas, follow again.
Adidas, follow again. This is some riveting audio content. Yeah,
I know.
That's him. That's him.
That's him?
He looks so cool there.
He does. Okay.
Just effortlessly cool. Hannah, I'm going to give this image to you so you can add it to the Instagram.
Cool or not cool?
Yeah.
Let the people decide.
No.
This guy is effortlessly cool. Look at this image.
Yeah. He's very cool.
I felt like he could. When he's performing, it was just effortlessly cool. It was so good. Everything S. Coops is not.
I want you to know. What?
I said, I'm going to forget why I have this random picture of this man saved in my phone and deleted in 3 weeks, I bet.
I'll remind you.
Don't do that.
When I post the episode, I'll remind you.
Well, I'll listen. I'll be like, oh, that's that dude in my phone who I don't know who they are.
Anyway, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. The guy that you think is so effortlessly cool, he's the one, do you remember the mafia thing?
Yeah.
You remember how Hoshi got him out?
I don't.
All the time?
No.
We're going to have to watch this again. He's the one that they all pick on every single time to get out in Mafia.
Because
Mode.
you have to bully the cool one. You got to get the cool one out of the way so like the others can shine.
I didn't know you were gonna be such a big Mingyu fanboy.
He was. Listen, I had an idea cross my mind while I was thinking about this because I knew I was gonna make the Rock reference, and you guys would have no idea how cool the Rock actually was. Because like we all know who the Rock is now, and I don't think anyone would say the Rock is cool now.
Not anymore, but he definitely was cool back in like the 90s.
Yeah, like that level of the Rock in the late 90s, 2000 era. That's what Mingyu was putting out there.
I'll believe you.
Thank you for your opinion. Just this is a FYI. My name tonight is Carrot. At the end of the movie, I want this to be known. Frankie, at the end of the movie is over. We are walking out, and he goes, "What are carrots?"
What the fuck is a carrot? I didn't want to interrupt the movie. I didn't want to interrupt the movie. All right. I was already assaulted endlessly during this film, so I couldn't imagine the beating I would have got if I talked.
I didn't beat you.
Before the movie started, I want to let Hannah be aware of this. Before the movie started, to hype me up, Peanut Gallery shook my shoulder a little bit. He was like, "Get hype, get hype." Amanda just started punching me in the shoulder.
Oh, she didn't just slap you?
No, she just kept punching me. I'm like, "What are you doing? This isn't how you hype someone up."
At least I wasn't elbowing you during the movie.
That's true. That is true. Peanut Gallery elbowed me every single time Woo showed up.
I hope you recognize who he is now.
I'm not going to recognize him without his stupid little hat. He wore a very stupid hat at the end of the movie. A very silly little hat.
Please tell me it was like a frog or like an animal hat.
It was like that kind of like knit hat, but it didn't have any animal on it.
It was like a babushka lady hat.
So it made it worse. It would have been better if he had an animal on it, Hannah. You've improved the hat.
So yeah, Frankie had no idea what a carrot was, which is the name of 17's fans, just like BTS has ARMY.
No. How do you get carrot from 17?
17 carat.
Fuck, okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad. For some of the other like fan-based names that they come up with, that one isn't bad.
There's one of my he was in Monsta X and he went on to do a solo thing. Wano, his fans are called Weenies.
I would never be a fan. I would never be a fan.
They voted that name themselves.
Of course they did.
I would refuse to be a fan.
That makes, no. That makes so much more sense hearing that it was fan voted.
But I would if I was a fan and then they voted for that, I'd stop.
Stop. He's good. He's very good.
I'd be like, so sorry, I can't do this to myself. I have some self-respect.
No, you don't.
I have a little bit.
No.
Okay.
All right. The other thing that we need to talk about before the movie even started.
So Hannah, we sent this to you.
Yeah. That was torturous.
We were graced to this short film that Walmart made for back to school.
I hope Walmart fired some high-level executive over
that ad, and I encourage you all to check it out. Just Walmart back to school ad. It's
2024.
It's 2024. It's 5 minutes. I encourage you all to watch it. This ad, so you know what we're talking about. This ad made me want to never go to Walmart again. I'm more anti-Walmart than I've ever been before.
This ad is how they torture people in prison camps.
This ad made me so happy that I'm not in school anymore.
Also, I want to point out that all the children in their cool kid outfits, no child dresses like that.
No child dresses like that. There were no adults in this school either, except for the weird bus driver at the beginning.
Why was the bus driver a supermodel?
Why was the bus driver gonna walk into the school with the students?
That also.
What was in that girl's hair?
That was how Jojo Siwa was made.
Oh no.
I thought Jojo Siwa was ponytails.
No, she has JoJo's Bobos.
What are you saying?
One of my friends before JoJo Siwa fucking
Do
went
you not
off
know what a
the deep
JoJo bow
end
is?
No.
had sold JoJo Siwa bows, and they called like fans of JoJo Siwa would call them bobos. You could like buy
Really?
them at
She was JoJo with the big bobo
yeah, you could buy them at like
everywhere.
Michael's and stuff. That's how big they were. They were at fucking
Wow.
arts and crafts stores. JoJo
They
Siwa
were
bow.
at Target. They were at Walmart. They were at Claire's. They were at Justice.
They were
They were at
everywhere.
Macy's and J.C.
Those
Penney's.
bows were made out of hair. They look like they were made out of hair.
Yeah, the
Yeah, and
bows
that's
in
how
the
JoJo
Walmart hat.
Siwa was made.
I don't know about that.
No, JoJo's bows weren't made out of hair. JoJo is made out of a hair bow. That's what she became. That's how she was
Right.
born.
Right.
She's like a Cabbage Patch doll.
Anyway, all of my favorite part of this was these are all kids, and they're like, please do not attempt professional dancers. I was
Yeah.
like, we're gonna let kids attempt this then?
They're
Well, they're
professional
professional
dancers.
dancers. Yeah,
Yeah. They're
It's
not
just-
amateur kids. They're professionals.
they're part of the union.
They probably have better benefits than we do.
Oh, definitely.
Don't say that.
They also at one point wrote on the fucking playground, all Riz, no cap.
And Frankie, we were sitting there the entire time just in awe. My mother is screaming, when is this going to end? And Frankie's like, is this the movie? Is this it?
Yeah, I thought I got deceived into see. I thought I was seeing a K-pop concert movie, and it turns out it's just these Walmart
It
ads.
was so fucking weird. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And it was
I'm-
so long. for a
I'm
movie
low-key
theater.
convinced that there was some like boomer executive in the marketing and advertising who created this, and then there was a Gen Z intern just going like, yes, yes, all of this. Say Cap, say Riz, say
Oh,
Ohio.
definitely. So, okay, what the fuck? Do you know what that means? Do you know what that fucking means? I have.
Do I know what Ohio means?
Yeah.
I don't
What
know
does it mean?
exactly what, but I know it's a negative slang
Okay.
word.
I did just look it up. From an article called 2024 Teen Slang Meanings Every Parent Should Know. Ohio is used to describe someone or something that's weird, bad, or cringe.
Oh, just like the state of Ohio.
So it's very much what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
So they called the bus driver lady Ohio because she was Ohio.
There's an ad, or there's another article that says like your guide to Gen Alpha slang, but before that it says, "Did you just get mogged by a skibbity rizzler?" And I want to die now.
I hate Skibbity Toilet so much. And it's all my cousins watch. Do you know how long Skibbity Toilet is going on, too? There are episodes. It's like it hurts my head. Anyway, speaking of hurting heads, unless anybody has anything else they want to say about the awful Walmart ad.
I loved it.
Took
I
10 years off my life.
I hated it and loved it at the same time. It's the best piece of media that we all watched that we're talking about tonight.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
I will also agree with that. At first I thought you were gonna insult 17's concert for a minute. I was gonna have to kill you.
No.
But I
Obviously,
heard-
17's concert was better, but I had to say that we all watched. I clarified.
That's fine. I'll make Hannah get drunk and watch it with me later. I bought the thing.
You
So-
bought the concert?
Yeah, I have.
Why did we go? What is this? You own it.
Because I wanted the experience, Franklin. And by the way, everybody was a lot quieter. Than
They
it
were
should have
super
sounded.
respectful, and I loved
Yeah.
it.
It was very nice. It was very nice, and we need to go to that movie theater the next time they have a K-pop concert movie, which is the only concert movies that I will see.
Okay.
All right. So we watched an awful movie.
Just watch war propaganda.
Yeah, I made them watch war propaganda. I was expecting the shit where Donald Duck was like working against the Nazis or something like that cartoon.
To be fair, I was also expecting that, and I thought this was gonna be a lot more racist than it was.
Yeah, I did too.
No,
I was
this
very
just boring.
I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to talk about what this movie is. some of the impact. All of this is from Wikipedia. I'm going to have you guys give your notes, and then we're going to move on to something different because I really don't want to waste my time talking about this.
Can we do our notes as you go through this in case they're relevant?
Yeah, I mean, you can, but
I will
there's no
say
synopsis here.
I want to say first. I know there's no synopsis because like unless you just want to give us the history of planes, Amanda,
I don't want to.
and talk about your wartime strategies. This is the first of our Disney movies not on Disney Plus.
It was, yeah.
Disney is saying fuck this movie. We're jettisoning it off.
We never made war propaganda. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yet Saludos Amigos, which is also another propaganda film.
But that's
it's not war
it's
propaganda.
imperialist propaganda. That's different.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, so we had to look this up on our own.
So close to not watching it.
I was so close to because I kept thinking you were gonna send the link, and then I remembered you had found it on YouTube. But like I was like, Amanda hasn't sent me the link yet. I'm not watching it.
And then I called Frankie today. I was like, "Are you hyped?" It's like,
you called me in the morning. You called me at 11:55 a.m. That's the morning. Don't call me in the morning. I'm never hyped for anything in the morning.
You really weren't hyped afterwards, but I called him. I was like, "Are you hyped?" He's like, "No, maybe call me in 5 minutes and I'll be a little bit more awake." And I said, "Did you just wake up?" He said, "No, I had to watch war propaganda." And I was like, "Oh fuck, I have to watch that." So I watched that as soon as I got off the phone with Frankie this morning.
Yeah. I do have a question. Another a question for the two of you before we go into the whatever you found on Wikipedia.
Thank you.
Do you think that if this had been on Disney Plus, we would have a content warning? Because we keep track of that.
I
So, like,
don't know if it would be the same content warning. I don't think it would.
I think that's the only content warning they have. So I don't think there would be a content warning.
Yeah, I don't think if there was a content warning, it wouldn't be the ones that we see about like the stereotypes and like the racist depictions, all of that stuff. I think it would be more towards, hey, we're talking about some really fucking dark shit. Because remember, war fucking happened, and you're gonna see a lot of things blowing up, and you're gonna see Nazi symbols. Nazis are bad. That would probably be the content warning. Just as a reminder, Nazis are bad.
Yeah, it probably would just be like this film contains symbols of hate or something. We do not condone.
Yeah, that's true.
That's probably what it would be because, as Amanda said, there were no racist stereotypes. There was nothing.
Yeah, I didn't see anything very at all bad. If anything, it made me sad. This movie made me sad, and that's not what I want from my Disney movies. I don't want to be sad. So,
hey, what's the name of this Disney film? Because we keep talking about it, but we haven't.
I was just gonna get to that
name.
This film that we watched was Victory Through Airpower. It is an American animated documentary propaganda film produced by Walt Disney Productions and released by United Artists on July 17th, 1943. It is based on the 1942 book Victory Through Airpower by Alexander P. D. Seversky, the guy who was in the film.
We were all bored watching this. Imagine reading it.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, this film was, people were nominated for an Academy Award for Best Music Score of a Dramatic or Comedy Picture.
So, of all categories of film, of a dramatic or comedy, what else is there?
I don't know.
It can't be a dramedy. It can't be a dramatic comedy. It has to be one or the other.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a comedy. I did not laugh a single time. Nor did I feel like on the edge of my seat drama-wise. I was just very bored. The production. So Walt Disney, apparently, he read Victory Through Airpower and felt that its message was so important that he personally financed the animated production of the book.
Oh my god.
You finance the propaganda.
Yeah. The film was primarily created to express Stravinsky's theories to the government officials and the public. So this was
theories?
like, yeah, the whole idea of him kind of saying, "Hey, we need to start making our Air Force more serious because everything is going to be fought through the air."
This dude. Okay. Yeah. This is my first note. This is the weirdest propaganda film I've ever seen.
What?
I studied political science in college, so I've watched some propaganda films. Most of them are like, "Hey, we have a political message. We want you to pressure your elected officials about it. So we're going to make it into a film that's easily digestible." One, this wasn't that easily digestible because like this guy's going some over some high level military concepts at points. And two, never in the history of the United States, there's been a lot of propaganda in the history of the United States, and a lot of it has been effective and it's worked. Whether that's good or bad, it doesn't matter right now. It's worked. But never has there been propaganda for people to try and convince the US government to use a particular military strategy. That will never work.
Well, we're gonna see what happened.
I can
So,
tell you what happened.
film critic Richard Schickel said that Disney pushed the film out in a hurry, even setting aside his distrust of limited animation under the impulses of urgency. Limited animation is just the reuse of frames. So, like, if somebody is waving their arm back and forth, they just reuse the frame instead of redoing it. It was not until 1945 that Disney was able to pay off his 1.2 million war film deficit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is too much.
Imagine spending 1.2 million on a movie that's bad.
Hey, it gets worse because in 2021 money, that's $17 million.
Oh my god.
After Disney's main distributor at the time, RKO Radio Pictures, refused to release the film in theaters, Walt decided to have United Artists, who was the distributor of many of his shorts between 1932 and 1937. They released it instead, making it the first and only Disney animated feature to be released by a different film studio other than RKO or Walt Disney Studios. So the reception. On July 11th, 1943, the New York Times devoted half a page, Victory from the Air, to a feature consisting of pictures of scenes from the films with short captions. This was possibly the first time that such skilled use of visual description had been placed at the service of an abstract political argument. Do you guys want me to read the quotes?
You don't have to.
Okay, good. I'm going to move on to the impact. On December 8th, 1941, Disney Studios were essentially converted into a propaganda machine for the United States government. While most World War II films were created for training purposes, films such as Victory Through Airpower were created to catch the attention of government officials and to build public morale among the U.S.
Imagine a fucking high-ranking military official go into the fucking movie theaters to watch this film, and then he goes, "You know what? This Walt Disney, he's fucking right. This is how we will win the war."
Yeah. Among the notables who decided after seeing the film that Stravinsky and Disney knew what they were talking about were Winston Churchill and Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Wait, whoa,
That's all you need.
Franklin D. Roosevelt said he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, the Disney and Stravinsky said that they knew what they were talking about.
That's funny because they didn't use those strategies. This guy's a genius. Let's ignore him.
The Disney studios sent a print for them to view when they were attending the Quebec conference. According to Leonard Maltin, it changed FDR's way of thinking. He agreed that Stravinsky was right. Maltin also adds that it was only after Roosevelt saw Victory Through Airpower that our country made the commitment to long-range bombing. Although that is incorrect, as the Allied combined bomber offensive had already begun on June 10th, 1943, 2 months before Roosevelt saw the film.
Oh my god.
Roosevelt recognized that the film was an effective way to teach, and Disney could provide Washington with high-quality information.
Who are they teaching?
Propaganda, Frankie.
But who's being taught? The fucking United States Congress? They don't have any say over military strategy.
The American people were becoming united, and Disney was able to inform them of the situation without presenting excessive chaos as cartoons often do. The animation was popular among soldiers and was superior to other documentary films and written instructions at the time.
Is it because they're all 18 and under at this point? We have to be told through cartoons what to do.
The film played a significant role for the Disney Corporation because it was the true beginning of the educational films. The educational films would be, and still are, continually produced and used for military, schools, and factory instruction. The company learned how to effectively communicate their ideas and efficiently produce the films while introducing the Disney characters to millions of people worldwide.
So
Throughout
you're
the rest
telling me that these soldiers are in boot camp and whoever's training them is just like, watch this film.
it's going to tell you how to fly a plane. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Watch this Disney film. The Mouse Guy?
Throughout the rest of the war, Disney characters effectively acted as ambassadors to the world. In addition to Victory Through Airpower, Disney produced Donald Gets Drafted, Education for Death, The Making of the Nazi, and De Fuhrer's Face, which is the Nazi Donald one.
Yeah, remember when
Please tell
Donald
me
Duck was
we
a
don't have
Nazi?
to watch these.
Yeah, we don't, because they're
Okay.
not films. And various training films for military, reusing animation from Victory Through Airpower in some of them. One scene showed a fictional rocket bomb destroying a fortified German submarine pen. According to an anecdote, this directly inspired the British to develop a real rocket bomb to attack targets that were heavily protected with thick concrete. Due to its origin, hold on. Due to its origin, the weapon became known as the Disney bomb and saw
God.
limited use before the war ended. In retrospect, some of Savrinsky's proposals were derided and as impractical, such as operating a major long-range air bombardment campaign from Aleutians, a series of islands reaching westward from Alaska, which is a remote area with highly volatile climate that makes for dangerous flying conditions. Do you have something you want to say, Franklin?
Not right now.
And then home media. After its release and re-release in 1943 and 1944, there was no theatrical release for 60 years. Perhaps because it was seen as propaganda, or because it was deemed offensive to Germans and the Japanese. It was, however, available in 16mm prints and occasionally screened in film history retrospectives. Additionally, the introductory history of aviation scene was taken and put into various episodes of the Disney anthology series on TV, which was The Wonderful World of Disney.
Can I just say,
mhm.
the Wright brother flying the plane was
Mhm.
caked up for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, he had a big butt. In 2004, the film was released on DVD as part of the Walt Disney Treasures collection, Walt Disney on the Front Line.
This isn't a treasure.
After the war, Disney characters, especially Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, were enthusiastically received in Japan and Germany, where they remain immensely popular today. That's all I got for you. So let's hear your guys' notes before I move on to more fun things.
The movie starts with the invention of the plane, and you said they kept like they've shown this on other things. This part was like not that bad, except for the hard on they have for the airplane almost immediately when they're like, "Man has conquered the air." Dude, they flew for 12 seconds.
I thought about it for a minute, and if I saw this, because they said like 40 years ago, like this happened 40 years ago that the plane was invented.
Mm-hmm.
And now people were flying across the world in these carrier planes. Seeing that initial plane, nah, 40 years isn't long enough. Wouldn't have done it.
Then they said England is separated from Europe by an impassable body of water, except for, the boats. There's those work as well.
There was I didn't write this down. I didn't really take notes because after I took like 2 of them, I was like, it's not worth it. There was one point where they were like, this man holds the record for shortest flight to so and so place, the location, and it still holds up today. And I was like, I guarantee you, doesn't anymore.
Yeah. But I thought that was funny because they said it was an impassable body of water, and now we literally have the fucking channel where you can drive from England to France.
Yep.
I don't trust that.
You just don't like the ocean.
I
Or
don't.
being on the ground.
I don't want to be under the ocean.
Then they talked about the first transcontinental flight where the guy crashed 15 times. And I have a question for you two.
Yeah.
Is it a transcontinental flight if you crashed 15 times?
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
go
so.
with no.
I like how they didn't mention Amelia Earhart. Wait, did she do that yet?
I don't
Let me-
know. I
let
don't
me
think
look.
she did. I think
Right.
it was after the war.
Yeah. Amelia Earhart was definitely after the war.
You're incorrect. She disappeared on July 2nd, 1937.
Oh, so it was before the war. They didn't mention her or Charles Lindbergh, the two greatest American pilots of the time.
They did mention Charles Lindbergh
Did they? I didn't hear it.
once, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's the man whose baby got kidnapped and murked.
Yeah, wow, I can't believe they didn't mention Amelia Earhart. I didn't know the time frame for her, so I was of the same assumption that Hannah was, that it hadn't happened yet.
No,
It,
it happened.
Walt Disney hates women. Woman
I'm
hater.
Well, that is confirmed, I thought.
Yeah.
Alright,
Then
what else?
there was that point where they had like they're talking about World War One, and the French pilot like took a picture of the German pilot, and then the German pilot made a funny face. So the French pilot's reaction was to throw a brick at him.
That was really entertaining. I
What
did
an
enjoy
what an
that.
overreaction. Then this is like that's at the point after that. That's also when it just becomes about that like Russian American dude talking about all of his war ideas.
Hmm. So I stopped, is what you're saying.
A lot of my stuff is just criticism of him. Like he makes it seem that the Nazis ruled through Europe just using planes, but like they had a ton of tanks and soldiers. That's what the Blitzkrieg was. I also got hyped when they mentioned Crete because we talked about Crete before in the dead body episode.
Right.
At one point, I questioned if this was a propaganda film against the Army and the Navy.
We don't know what we're doing.
It got so bad again, like them insulting the Army and the Navy. I wrote, "Oh my God, I'm out here shilling for the Army and the Navy." There was one terrifying image in this movie.
Which was?
The image when they start really talking about America as only a factory producing weapons and war machines.
Oh, where the whole US was just a big factory?
Yeah, that was terrifying because that's what we are now, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else? Oh, they call it the bottleneck of shipping when they talk about how all of our goods are going to eventually be shipped by planes. That's not true. Almost all of our shipping is still done by sea. He was right on the ball there. A real fucking future seer. He said that clinging to the island hopping technique to stop Japan will never work, which is exactly how we stop Japan. The island hopping technique. At this point,
I like how you're like an old man who knows this.
yeah, I know.
We
And
should have gotten Hannah's dad on this episode.
Then he kept saying we need
He
to
would have
create.
been enthralled.
He said we need to make an Air Force, and they didn't make the Air Force until after the war. I also wrote, imagine gathering the family to go to the theaters on a Saturday afternoon and go and watching this. What a time.
I would cry.
I'd be like, you know what? I don't want to see any movies anymore.
I would have never seen a Disney movie again.
Yeah.
And then I put Disney just made a film with this guy giving his ideas that the government rejected. Apparently they liked them though, they just didn't use them.
I didn't use them.
Those are all my notes. This was bad. This was the second worst movie we've seen from Disney.
I agree with that. Hannah, do you have any other notes?
My only note was the Wright brother was caked up.
Gotcha.
I had this on more as like a podcast, and I started playing a video game.
The Sims.
No, I was playing Civilization.
Oh, what a good game. What a good game.
Mm-hmm.
You could have used his strategies, Hannah.
I didn't get that far.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get that far.
I didn't
All right.
get to planes.
All right, so there's no protagonist or anything like that, so we just have to rank this fucker, and it's above the Reluctant Dragon. Actually, I'm actually gonna put it below the Reluctant Dragon.
Below the
I'll
Reluctant
agree
Dragon,
with that.
which makes it the second worst Disney movie.
What? Why? What's the first? What's the worst one?
We have Fantasia at 8.
Oh no, it's definitely better than Fantasia, or It's worse than
This is at
Fantasia.
the bottom.
Yeah, it's
Are
at
we
the
putting
bottom.
this at the very bottom? I thought this was better than Reluctant Dragon. I think Reluctant Dragon is so shit.
Reluctant
Yeah.
Dragon has a story, at least.
Yeah. Fantasia also was at least fun. This sucked.
I had more fun watching this than both of those, but also I like history a lot. So
Yeah, we don't.
I like history. I don't like war history.
Yes. I
Can
don't
we
like
put-
Wolf
can we
Propaganda.
can we put this as the most heartbreaking moment? Is Disney making this movie?
Yes.
That is a
Number
joke.
one.
That won't go on the list. But like, fuck off, Disney. Why would we make this?
The studio. I like how Walt funded it himself because he was like, nobody else is going to fund this for me.
No, why
At
would
least he
they?
knew.
That's where it is. This movie sucked, so I'm going to give some more Disney fun things. So I was like, what haven't I talked about at Disney? Now, to be fair, Disney's in a little bit of hot water right now because they're being absolute idiots when it comes to a lawsuit.
That's really fun, guys. None of us can ever sue Disney.
Yeah,
Well, actually, Hannah can. Well, Hannah, did you ever have a free trial of Disney Plus?
I paid for Disney Plus for like 2 or 3 months.
Oh, you can't sue Disney then.
But I
Yeah.
thought it was only for 5 years.
Yeah, was it 5 years ago?
Not yet.
Okay, so you can't sue Disney yet.
I can't sue Disney yet, but I'm getting pretty close because I got the Disney Plus membership when Hamilton was released.
Oh, that was
In
like
2020.
year one.
Yeah.
2020, yeah.
So I think I have to wait till 2025. I only have like a year.
Yeah, about that. By the way, Mom, just as a side note, Frankie thinks Mingyu is the coolest member.
That's really why. Does he know his name now?
He's not gonna know his name. No, he described him to me as the tall one.
The one that's a fuckboy.
Get that out of here. Get that out of here, Frankie. Cut that out. We're not calling Mingyu a fuckboy.
He's super cool.
He's super cool.
But sometimes fuckboys give off that energy, and then until you discover they're a fuckboy. So
He's really not a fuckboy
He's
though.
not, but he gives off that vibe.
Frankie described it as the Rock in the '90s vibe.
Mingyu is cool,
He is cute, cool. All right,
but not as cool as that Scoops.
well, that's okay.
get out of here. Bye. Thank you. No, we're not talking about the lawsuit, unfortunately. I did want to give some fun Disney things, so I was looking because I get bored sometimes. Oftentimes, it's when I'm like in a doctor's office or something. So I look at like weird BuzzFeed things, and there was a thing that caught my eye that was weird Disney facts about the parks. So we're gonna talk about some of these, and I want to know if you guys knew about these. We're not gonna make it super long, I promise. So,
All right.
I'll
see you
fact number
guys
one.
at midnight when we're still recording.
Fact number one: there is a secret salon called Kingdom Cutters. Unfortunately, it's only for cast members, and it's most likely underground in the fun little tunnels. But staff members can get complimentary Disney-styled haircuts there.
What the fuck does that mean? Disney styled haircuts.
Hannah,
Go
what
up,
does
give
that
me
mean?
give me
I've
the
never
max
heard of
goof.
this.
Give me Cinderella. Cast members must always wear a name tag, even if it's an alias or not their own. Name tags are a must with every cast member's uniform. Yeah, if you lose your name tag, you have to wear one from a gender neutral badge while you await the arrival of your new one. So if I lost my name tag said Amanda, I would have to be like Sam. Like I'd lose my name until I get my new name tag.
Are these just like old ones from former cast members that they just
Which
have
is
lying
weird.
around?
Don't have. I guess they said it's from a gender neutral badge.
What does that mean?
Gender neutral names, Hannah.
I know, understand gender neutral. I don't understand what they mean by a gender neutral badge.
Just in case somebody loses it, that's like where you get a name tag to wear for the day from the gender neutral collection that they have. The music never stops. Even when the cast members are wrapping up, their shifts are over, after all of the guests leave, the music is still on throughout the entire night.
I would hate that.
I've heard about this and people say it's creepy.
Yeah, I would imagine it's creepy. Cast members cannot acknowledge celebrities. So if a cast member is ever in contact with a famous person, they can't ask for a photo or an autograph. Now, I get that if you're like a costume character or whatever, or something, or like a princess. You can't be like, oh my god, George Clooney. But like just a person behind the register.
I get that though, because Disney wants to create this element where it's like its own world. So you're not a celebrity, fuck you. And two, they do acknowledge that they are celebrities, but like they don't want the workers to like bother them when they're there with their families.
That's fair.
Yeah, I get why Disney does this.
Cast members are not allowed to say, I don't know. If a cast member is asked a question, they must always have an answer. Responding with, I don't know, is absolutely unacceptable.
What if you don't know? What if
I hate companies that are like this.
They must give an answer to any question, even if they're unsure or if it's silly.
that's so dumb.
I hate companies that are like this because so many people don't have those answers half the time. So it's
Yeah.
okay to be like, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you. I personally do not know the answer to that question. Like you have like phrase it in a way where it's like, I'm sorry, like not, I don't know. Like you phrase it in a way where it's kind to the person asking, and then you recommend going to a superior.
Yeah, I would say guest services probably has the answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Say, I'm sorry, I don't have that answer, but
Guest services is over here and they could probably help you out with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not being allowed to say I don't know makes me so angry.
This one I knew. The Tower of Terror screams are fake. So the screams that you hear around the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, most of the time they're not coming from people on the ride. The screams that you hear on the ground are mostly pre-recorded and being played through speakers. I mean, you can occasionally hear a really loud person scream.
I feel like that's common sense.
Yeah.
That an enclosed ride you're not going to hear screams from, for the most part.
Yeah. Liberty Square has no bathrooms. Keeping things authentic to colonial times, there are no bathrooms.
Yeah,
in
you're allowed to
Magic
just piss and shit in the streets.
Kingdom. There are no bathrooms in
But
Magic
if
Kingdom.
I did that, I'd
Square.
be considered indecent and banned from Disney. So
Yeah.
make up your mind.
You'll have to walk all the way around another land to find a restroom.
That's
They're technically-
so stupid.
Yeah.
How many children piss themselves there?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
where's that fun fact?
There technically are restrooms in Liberty Tree Tavern and Columbia Harbor House, but because they're set so far back, they're technically in other lands. So it like crosses that border. Hidden time capsules. There are 2 hidden time capsules in the park. One was buried in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle in 1995, and the other has been underneath Buena Vista Plaza in California Adventure since 2012.
Why do I vaguely remember when they buried the California time capsule?
No, I remember that one too.
When are they opening them?
I don't know. That's not on here. Look it up yourself.
I'm not going to.
One restaurant has the Imagineers' faces on the ceiling. And I saw this restaurant. If you find yourself at Walt Disney World's Be Our Guest restaurant, look up when you're in the ballroom. The cherubs in the ceiling mural actually have the faces of the Imagineers' children.
I don't
And
like that.
the Imagineers' own baby faces, which is pretty sweet.
It's weird.
I think it's cute. I think it's cute that they put their children up there. Disney flags are fake. None of the American flags on Main Street are real. In order to avoid flag regulations, lowering them to half mast on certain occasions, Disney flags are missing a star or stripe so they can be left up permanently. Interesting.
Disney. How much for a 49-star flag? My dad has been looking for one for over a year now.
What
does he
state
want
is
a
your dad removing?
He's not
Hawaii.
removing a state. He wants a 49-star flag because they were only made for like 2 months.
I think Disney makes their own.
We don't have to tell him that. I just gotta say, I found you a 49-star flag.
I don't know. Contact Disney about it.
Okay. Walt Disney's head got him on speed dial.
Another fact about the flags on Main Street is they double as lightning rods.
A lot of flags, though, around places do that.
Mickey's ears on top of Crossroads of the World at Hollywood Studios is also a secret lightning rod, as one of his ears is copper. The castles are optical illusions. Actually, most things on Main Street are optical illusions. Disney engineers use a little trick to make the park castles look bigger than they actually are. The bricks get smaller towards the top, making Cinderella's castle and Beast Castle appear taller. Disney has secret menu items. Much like Jamba Juice and Starbucks, Disney restaurants also have secret menus.
I'm sorry. Pause
Yeah.
for a moment.
Yeah.
No, pause. Why was Jamba Juice the first choice there? Who wrote
No.
this?
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, you know, everyone's favorite two fast food places, Jamba Juice and Starbucks.
Starbucks I get with secret menu.
Yeah, Starbucks I
It's not
understand.
even a secret menu. It's just teenage girls going and being like, I saw this on Instagram. Can you make it?
Yeah, and then the workers spitting in it because they're angry.
Yeah. I
Ugh.
did that to a poor barista once. I'm sorry.
Come on, they gotta use McDonald's where you can get the McGangbang.
Please stop calling it that.
That's what it's called.
I know what it's called. In Frontierland's Golden Horseshoe, you can get ice cream nachos. At River Bell's Terrace, you can ask for the loaded tater tots or order the mac and cheese bread bowl at the Wharf Cafe in California Adventure. That sounds amazing. Dinosaur and Indiana Jones are the same. If you've ever been on Animal Kingdom's Dinosaur on a Disneyland's Indiana Jones Adventure, you've actually gotten to ride 2 rides for the price of 1. They both use the same track, which is why they're probably turning Dinosaur into the Indiana Jones ride.
Disney owns Indiana Jones.
They bought
No.
Lucasfilm.
Well,
They
yeah,
do technically own it now.
they do
I thought
own
it was
now.
Universal.
No, but whenever the Indiana Jones ride was made in like the 90s or something, they made a deal with LucasArts whenever they did like the Star Tours originally and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then when they bought Lucas Art back, they got the rights to it.
Dinosaur, the ride, used to be way scarier. Its current iteration isn't how the ride always was, as Disney had to tone down the sounds, the motion, and the interaction because it was deemed too scary. Dumb. Scare those kids.
Children need to learn the world is terrifying.
There's a wait time code. There's also a secret code to wait times for the Haunted Mansion and Tower of Terror. If you see that the line's wait time is the unlucky 13 minutes, it means that there's no wait at all.
That's stupid.
13 minutes, like, if I saw something at Disney that was 13 minutes, like, hell yeah, we're getting on it again. You can wake up Tinkerbell. If you're one of the first visitors at Disneyland, head to Tinkerbell's treasure shop in Fantasyland for a secret experience. You can ask a cast member to wake up Tink, and they'll do a little ceremony complete with lights and sound effects.
I'm sure they love doing that.
Yeah, I know. There's a secret train car. Another treat for early bird guests, the Disney Railroad has a secret train car called the Lily Bell dedicated to Walt Disney's wife. Only few guests get to ride in it each day, but if you get inside, you'll see it's decorated like a Victorian parlor and has artifacts from Disney's history on display. The Tomorrowland plants are edible. Not that we'd recommend eating them, but legend has it that all the plants in Tomorrowland are edible as a nod to Walt Disney's vision of a futuristic world with sustained agriculture.
I recommend eating the plants.
Eat those plants.
Yeah.
Get kicked out of the park.
Yeah.
Disney smells aren't real. I talked about this in my thesis paper. The smells that you encounter in the parks aren't real. Imagineers built a system to pump fake smells like fresh baked goods on Main Street or salt water on Pirates of the Caribbean ride, just to enhance the experience. Aladdin left behind his lamp. If you're on the Main Street Railroad, if you look closely, there's a shelf with belongings from other riders waiting to be picked up from the station. The riders also happen to be Disney characters, so you'll spot Aladdin's lamp or some of Mary Poppins' luggage. There's Club 33, which is like a secret club for the elite. The park used a special shade of green, dubbed go-away paint, and no-seum green, which is a drab color selectively used to draw guests' eyes away from certain areas or buildings, like the secret of Club 33. Obviously, there's a hidden suite in Cinderella's castle. There is a forgotten water park. There's an abandoned Disney water park near Magic Kingdom. The River Country Water Park closed in 2001 and still sits decaying in the middle of Florida's lake. Merchandise doesn't go to waste. Disney doesn't just throw out old or damaged merchandise. Instead, they sometimes sell it to cast members for a super steep discount, and they host a major sale twice a year for cast members and their guests. Invite me.
Or they just
The
burn
matter-
it, you know,
Yeah.
in a cult ritual for the mouse.
Yeah. The
But
Matterhorn has
don't donate it to homeless shelters or anything.
No, they gotta sell it. They gotta make money. Come on,
Yeah.
Hannah.
that would have been nice if they did.
This is
The Matter
Disney.
Yeah. The Matterhorn has a hidden room.
It's still expensive.
Many have reported there is a secret attic-like room with a basketball hoop at the top of the Matterhorn bobsleds.
I thought that was true.
It is true.
Okay.
It said reported.
Imagine dunking on the Matterhorn.
The room is for employees only.
All right. Well, I bet if
Security-
Shaq said he wanted to go dunk up there, they weren't gonna say no.
That's very true. There's security everywhere. While you can obviously see some security guards throughout the park, there's actually more than you think. Disney has a lot of plainclothes officers at the grounds at all times, some of whom you can identify by spotting their earpiece. Some cast members have better info than others. Helpful hint: according to at least one former employee, the cast members with the morning shift tend to be more knowledgeable than those who come in the afternoon, as they're full-time cast members who have been around the longest. So if you have any tricky questions about the park, arrive early so you can ask the right people. Cast members can't show you around. Ooh. If you're lost, a cast member isn't allowed to show you around. They're under strict instructions not to leave their post. If you really need a guide, a custodian, which is actually the only kind of cast member who can move throughout the park, can take you where you need to go.
Also, really stupid.
Yeah. You'll never see two of the same character in a park. In order to keep the magic alive, characters are all scheduled so that there's never more of one kind in the park at the same time. There can't be two Alices at the same time. Surprise shows might be a distraction. Sometimes if you see a character come out unscheduled or if there's an unexpected show in the street, it's not because the park wants to provide a top-notch experience. They could be trying to entertain guests in order to give busy rides some relief. Character costumes used to include communal underwear.
You told us that, and it haunts my nightmares.
You'll truly be shocked and horrified to know that until 2001, the actors portraying characters in the park used to have to wear communal Disney-issued underwear as part of their costumes. The LA Times reported that pubic lice and scabies were a severe problem.
Pubic lice is one of the worst things I've ever heard.
You can get recipes for your favorite food. If you eat something you love at the park, you might be able to take it home with you, kind of. Rumor has it that if you ask nicely, sometimes cast members will email you the recipes.
That seems like a lot of work. Just buy one of the books.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bother these poor workers like this. Don't bother them like this.
Yeah, don't do that. They're not getting paid enough to be bothered like this.
Don't ask for secret menu items, and don't ask them to email you recipes.
Cast members don't point. Cast members will never point. Apparently, Walt Disney thought that pointing could be misconstrued as rude, so to steer guests in the right direction, cast members will show their way with 2 fingers or more, which has been dubbed the Disney point. Demonstrated
So
here by
it's
Tom Hanks.
still pointing, but
Yeah,
just with 2 fingers.
You're just not. Yeah, you're not pointing with a single finger.
Doubly rude.
Apparently, if you watch Saving Mr. Banks, Tom Hanks does it. So, demonstrated by him.
He's doubly rude.
Trash
Pointing
cans
with 2 fingers.
Trash cans are strategically placed. Walt Disney mandated that a trash can should never be more than 30 steps from a guest at all times. The legend is that he once followed guests around the park and noticed after 30 steps is when they would throw the trash on the ground. So there are the utilidors underneath Disney, the hidden tunnels. These tunnels are so cast members won't have to move through lands they're not dressed for, which could ruin the guest vibes. You can pick up your shopping later, and I really wish I would have known this. If you're staying at a Disney resort, you can have your purchases delivered to your hotel rather than to have to carry them around with you at the park. There's also a shopping hat, even if you're not staying at Disney Hotel. You can have your purchases delivered to the front of the park for you on your way out. Pirates of the Caribbean used to have real skeletons. It's said that when Imagineers built Pirates of the Caribbean in 1967, they didn't like the inauthentic appearance of the false skeletons, so they somehow convinced the UCLA Medical School to give them real ones. They have since been replaced with more authentic fakes, but some corners of the internet are convinced that there are still real bones that remain, mainly above the headboard. Star Tours has real movie props. The C-3PO and the R2-D2 that you see on Star Tours are real props from the Star Wars movies. Sleeping Beauty's castle has a working drawbridge. The drawbridge actually works, but it's only been used twice. Once on opening day in 1955, and when Fantasyland opened in 1983. There's a reason to stay after the park closes. If you linger in the Magic Kingdom after the park officially closes, you can see the Kiss Goodnight. About 15 minutes after midnight, Cinderella's castle lights up for the last time of the evening while when you wish upon a star plays in the background.
Go home.
Go home.
My dad is still upset with me from when we went to Disney when I was a kid and I left in the middle of the fireworks because I was tired.
I'd be mad at you.
I
No joke, Hannah, I would not talk to you.
I support you, Hannah.
Thank you.
It's pretty common for guests to dump ashes of their loved ones on the Haunted Mansion ride or really any Disney ride. Don't do that. They just get sucked up.
Congratulations. Grandpa's in the vacuum now.
Yeah, don't do it. There's a secret fuck you that Disney cast members have. If anyone tells you have a magical day, that means that you were a gigantic asshole and they hated dealing with you.
I would use that at least 10 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I use it for anyone who talked to me.
Yeah. Could never work for Disney. I could never be nice to people.
Yeah, no. You have to cover up your tattoos.
As a worker.
Yeah. If you work for Disney, yes.
They force you when you go into the park. Sorry, son. You got to cover that up.
Yeah. I'm sure if it had like foul language or something, they would. Unsanitary water. The water in the Pirates ride is not filtered at all. So Disney tells you to keep your hands out of the water for multiple reasons. One, so you can keep your limbs, and two, because you could get an infection.
Pay to filter the water.
Why?
Because it's not worth the risk of someone dying.
Don't people actively try to drink the water from
They don't try and drink it, they try to collect it so that they can have that gross little smell.
No, I feel like I've heard people actively try to drink the water from Pirates of the Caribbean.
People have tried to drink bathwater, Hannah. Why are we surprised by this?
I'm not. I was just asking you to verify.
If you work at the Kilimanjaro safaris in the Animal Kingdom, you get paid $1 more than all the other attractions. Not only because you have to give a spiel while driving 35 plus guests on a truck on an uncontrolled trail, it's also because if they wanted to, they could drive those guests out into a river where there are animals or crocodiles and told them all to run. So you get an extra dollar.
That feels very specific.
Yeah, so they give you an extra $1 to keep you from doing something crazy.
That extra $1's not enough.
Yeah, I know. This one is just a quote from somebody who used to work as a cast member from Reddit.
How many of these do you think are actually real?
I believe this one.
I'm talking about how many of all of them?
I'd say a decent amount of them.
Okay.
Do these all have links to Reddit?
No, only a few.
Okay, yeah.
People fall off of things a lot, roofs, rides, etc., and there are varying outcomes. There was this one.
Is that just the end of the fact? People fall off of things sometimes. Sometimes they get really hurt. Sometimes they don't.
I should know. I was a Disney cast member.
Yeah. This is the fact of life, though. Thanks.
There's one that just trauma dumped on everybody here. I was on the TTC resort platform working the night of the monorail crash. It will be 13 years this July, and I still wake up screaming from time to time. There's no amount of therapy that will or can erase that memory from my mind. My last fact that I have for you guys is one that's near and dear to my heart. It's about the cats of Disney World. Every night, there are a bunch of feral cats that are let loose in the park to get rid of the mice, to control the rodent population, which I think is really funny because our mascot, Disney, is a mouse.
I'm fairly certain I saw one of Disney's feral cats when I was a kid.
I've definitely seen a few of them. So they don't like let them out at night type thing. They kind of just roam, but they mostly come out at night because they're feral and they don't want to deal with people. I've seen a few of them. There is a website called The Cats of Disneyland, and it has a list of cat profiles.
That is a great website.
It's a really good website. There's Buford, there's Bernice, there's Giovanni, there's Horace, there's Francisco, and they have a picture of the cat along with some of their favorites. Let me read Francisco's. His name is Francisco. He is a long-haired tortoiseshell. His favorite hangout is Grizzly Peak. His hobbies are sleeping, hiking, and gardening. His favorite ride is soaring over California. And an interesting fact about him is he dreams of piloting his own glider aircraft. Do you think he saw the movie that we watched?
Maybe.
I hope not.
So I recommend looking at that website. It's very cute. And that's it. That's my fun facts. Was that better than talking more in length about this movie?
Yes, this film was bad.
It was real bad. Frankie, what are we talking about next week?
Next week is me, and we're gonna talk about. We did wrestling on my last episode, so we're not doing wrestling again. We take a break.
Oh, thank God.
We're talking about another freak of history. This time we're talking about famed Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe. You don't know who Tycho Brahe is?
I never heard of him.
You didn't learn about this dude in history class? We learned about him in my history or
I
science.
only learned about the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and World War II.
Tycho Brahe, he is a little weirdo, but also a genius.
Like Tesla genius?
He was an astronomer before the invention of the telescope. He found a completely new star.
Real casually just found a star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found a star. No big deal.
And his data was used by Johannes Kepler to make the 3 laws of planetary motion.
I'm gonna pretend I remember what those are from school.
You don't remember the 3 laws of planetary motion?
I barely.
I don't know. I don't know the 3 laws of planetary
Okay.
motion.
Don't give me shit for it then, man.
Isn't one of them they can't cross paths with an... Oh, wait, no, that's for planets.
That was planetary motion.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be.
They
The only
can't
thing
cross
that's-
paths with another planet. That's why we don't have Pluto anymore.
I thought it was because Pluto was too small.
That could also be one of them.
The only
Pluto
law
is a planet. Put it
Yeah.
back.
put them back. The only thing that I can think of is like when an object is in motion, it stays in motion, like the law of inertia, which is not accurate. Or that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. But I
The
don't think-
reason why Pluto is not a planet and is considered a dwarf planet now is because it's not big enough to exert its orbital dominance and clear its orbit.
What does that mean?
So all the other planets in their orbit around the sun, there's nothing else that goes through that exact path of orbit. They've shooed away all like other objects and debris through their force. But Pluto has other things in its orbit.
That aren't his moons.
He
Yeah,
just
that
likes
aren't
to
moons.
share.
And
He
but
just
like those
sure.
like the other ones, like moons aren't orbiting obviously the sun, they're orbiting their planet.
Yeah.
So Pluto has like a ton of asteroids and other space rocks in its flight path.
That's not its fault.
Well,
Put it back. Put Pluto back.
I think it should be a planet as well. I'm just saying that's their reasoning.
I
Stupid
want
reasons.
I want you guys to know when I was in chorus in middle school and we found out that Pluto was no longer a planet, our teacher made us sing this song called You'll Always Be a Planet to Me. Pluto.
Wow. There are 3 rules to become a planet, by the way. You have to orbit around the sun.
Cool.
You have to have sufficient mass to be a nearly spherical shape.
No triangles allowed.
Yeah. Get these fucking squares out of here.
No rhombuses.
And you have to clear the neighborhood around your orbit. So Pluto, that's the only one it's missing.
Elon Musk, you have money. Go get rid of the asteroids around Pluto.
Don't beg to him, God.
Yeah, I don't want to even mention him.
I don't like him either, but he is our only hope. He's the only one with the money.
No, I feel bad for Clyde Tombaugh. He discovered Pluto.
Was he alive when they said it wasn't a planet?
I hope not.
I hope his tombstone says Pluto is a planet, you fuckers.
When did they name it not a planet? 2009, I think.
Yeah, something like that. When did this guy die?
I'm looking up Clyde. He died in 1997, so he lived his
life. Good. He's fine.
He died at 90 years old.
Oh, dope. Frankie, you only have like a year of life left.
I know. We'll talk about that. We'll mass record near the end.
We're gonna lose our editor.
Yeah, you guys will just have to put out the raw episode. It's your time to shine, Amanda.
I know. I'm so excited.
The quality is going to drop.
There's gonna be so many just dead silences for like moments, and then someone remembering what they were gonna say. Oh my god!
Really bad jokes.
Oh my god! Fuck!
What?
I just had a jump scare as we're recording. My TV turned on its own, and it froze on like the new that Freevee streaming service ad, but the ad was for like the Scooby-Doo live action movie, and it was just zoom in of his face, of the live action Scooby's face.
In HD?
No, fucking standard def, terrifying. And now my TV's gone back to being off. So that's a horrible nightmare that just happened.
Your TV is haunted by live action Scooby-Doo.
Why I don't have a TV in my room anymore.
Let's take care of business so I can just turn my TV on and not have to deal with that. Jesus Christ. Remember, we are currently, as of recording, on YouTube and Spotify. If you are listening to us on YouTube, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little bell for notifications every time an episode is uploaded each and every Wednesday, and when the bonus episodes come out.
Does the subscribe button light up when you say subscribe on our channel?
I have no idea.
Subscribe.
Thanks, Hannah.
I hope the button lit up for one of those.
If you're listening to us on Spotify, remember to follow the show, leave us a review, and answer the question of what you think of the show, and leave a comment of what you think of the show for us. We would really appreciate it. No matter what you're doing, though, please remember to share this with your friends, whether you're listening to us on YouTube or on Spotify. Remember to spread the word of the show. That would be very helpful. Thank you for that.
If S Coops listened to our podcast,
yeah,
would you still call him lame?
I would, but listening to our show doesn't make you cool. In fact, it might make you lamer.
Give this to Mingyu. Make him lame.
No, I don't want to make Mingyu lame. Actually,
don't call our show lame.
If Mingyu listened to our show, we might become cooler just by the sheer power that he has.
Right. Share this with 17.
Share this with Mingyu so we can become cooler. If you'd like to send us an email with any comments you have on the show, any ideas for episodes that you would like to hear us do, or any questions that you would like us to answer about any of the topics we covered, or just any questions you want us to answer, we would really like to answer some fan questions, you can send us an email, and that email address is
Nothing to see here podcast at gmail.com. As always, here is spelled HEAR.
If you would like to see some great artwork done by Amanda, some funny memes and images related to our episodes uploaded by Hannah, then you can do so over on our Instagram page, which is
Nothing to see here pod.
That is all the business we have to take care of. Join us next week for our newest episode. And with all of that being said, goodbye and good night.
Good night.
Well, yeah.
Wow, what a
I got
rousing,
nothing.
what a rousing exit. Thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.